Amy Duggar King reveals where she stands with the Duggar family. In a rare and candid interview, Amy Duggar King has broken her silence about her current relationship with the Duggar family, offering a glimpse into the complex dynamics that continue to shape one of America's most scrutinized families. Nearly a decade after the explosive revelations that rocked the family's carefully constructed public image, Amy has chosen to speak openly about forgiveness, family bonds, and moving forward. Amy's decision to speak comes after years of maintaining a relatively low profile, even as her family's story dominated headlines and became the subject of countless documentaries, podcasts, and media analyses. It's been overwhelming at times, she admits. People think they know our story, but there's so much more to it than what gets reported. The youngest of Jim Bob and Michelle Duggar's 19 children, Amy has watched her family navigate both extraordinary blessings and devastating challenges. From the early days of their reality television fame to the dark revelations that would forever change how the world viewed the Duggars, Amy has been a witness to it all. I've learned that people are complicated, she reflects. We all make mistakes, and we all have the capacity for both good and bad. What matters is how you choose to move forward from those mistakes. When asked directly about her relationship with her brother Josh, whose actions brought the family into the national spotlight, Amy's response is measured but clear. Forgiveness isn't something you do for someone else, it's something you do for yourself. Holding on to anger and resentment only hurts you in the end. She explains that the process of forgiveness has been ongoing and hasn't always been linear. There have been days when I've struggled more than others. But I've seen genuine remorse and efforts to make amends, and I've chosen to focus on that rather than dwelling on the pain. Amy emphasizes that forgiveness doesn't mean forgetting or excusing harmful behavior. You can forgive someone and still hold them accountable. You can love your family and acknowledge when they've done wrong. Those things aren't mutually exclusive. The revelations about Josh Duggar's past behavior fundamentally altered the family's internal dynamics. Amy describes how the family worked to rebuild trust and create healthier boundaries moving forward. We had to have some very difficult conversations as a family. We had to establish new ways of relating to each other and new expectations for how we treat one another. She notes that the experience forced the entire family to confront uncomfortable truths about communication and oversight. We realized that we had been so focused on presenting a perfect image to the world that we hadn't always been as attentive to what was happening within our own family. The process of healing and rebuilding has been gradual. Amy describes regular family meetings and counseling sessions that helped establish new foundations for their relationships. We've learned to be more open with each other, even when it's uncomfortable. We've learned to listen better and to speak up when something doesn't feel right. Despite the challenges, Amy maintains regular contact with most of her siblings and extended family members. She describes a family that, while forever changed by their experiences, continues to support one another through life's ups and downs. We're still a family, she says simply. We still love each other, and we still show up for each other. Maybe that love looks different now than it did before, but it's still real. Amy's approach to family relationships emphasizes personal choice and individual boundaries. Not everyone in our family relates to each other in exactly the same way, and that's okay. We've all had to figure out what healthy relationships look like for us personally. She describes how some family members have chosen to maintain closer relationships while others have needed more space. There's no one right way to navigate this. Everyone has to do what's best for their own healing and well-being. Throughout her journey, Amy has leaned heavily on her faith for guidance and strength. She describes how her understanding of forgiveness and redemption has evolved through the challenges her family has faced. My faith has always been important to me, but going through this experience has deepened it in ways I never expected, she shares. I've had to really wrestle with what I believe about grace and second chances and what it means to truly forgive. She emphasizes that her faith journey hasn't been without doubt and struggle. There have been times when I've questioned everything, my faith, my family, my place in the world. But ultimately, I found that my faith gives me a framework for understanding that people can change and that healing is possible. Amy's religious beliefs have also shaped her approach to public discourse about her family. She advocates for compassion and understanding, even when discussing difficult topics. I think we're quick as a society to judge and to want to destroy people when they make mistakes. But I've seen firsthand that people are capable of growth and change. The intersection of public fame and private family life has been a constant challenge for the Duggars. Amy discusses how the family has worked to establish better boundaries between their public and private lives. We've learned that you can't live your whole life for other people's consumption, she explains. At some point, you have to prioritize your family's well-being over public expectations or curiosity. This shift has meant being more selective about what aspects of their lives they choose to share publicly. Amy notes that while the family once lived much of their lives in th. This shift has meant being more selective about what aspects of their lives they choose to share publicly. Amy notes that while the family once lived much of their lives in the public eye, they've become more intentional about maintaining privacy for certain aspects of their personal relationships and healing process. As she looks to the future, Amy expresses hope for continued healing and growth within her family. She describes ongoing efforts to maintain healthy communication and support systems among the siblings and extended family. I think we're in a better place now than we were even a few years ago, she reflects. We've learned so much about ourselves and about each other. We've learned how to be honest about our struggles without losing sight of our strengths. Amy also expresses hope that their family's experience might help others who are navigating similar challenges. If our story can help even one other family work through their own difficulties, then maybe some good can come from all the pain we've experienced. She emphasizes the importance of seeking help and support when facing family challenges. We were fortunate to have access to counseling and other resources that helped us work through our issues. I encourage anyone who's struggling with family relationships to reach out for professional help if they need it. Beyond her family relationships, Amy has been focused on her own personal growth and establishing her independence. She discusses her career aspirations and personal goals, noting that the family's experiences have taught her the importance of developing her own identity separate from the family narrative. I'm still figuring out who I am outside of being that Duggar, she admits with a laugh. But I think that's normal for someone my age. The added complexity of our family's public history just makes it a little more complicated. Her journey toward independence has included pursuing her own interests and building relationships outside the family context. I've been blessed with friends who knew me before all of this became public, and who see me as just Amy, not as Amy Duggar. In closing, Amy offers a message of hope for others who may be struggling with family relationships or public scrutiny. I know it can feel impossible sometimes, but healing is possible. Families can find their way back to each other, even after the most difficult challenges. She emphasizes that the path forward isn't always linear and that setbacks are part of the process. There are still hard days, but there are also good days. And the good days make the hard days worth it. Amy's story represents one chapter in an ongoing family saga that continues to evolve. Her willingness to speak candidly about forgiveness, healing, and family bonds offers a glimpse into the resilience that can emerge from even the most challenging circumstances. Family continues to navigate their complex history and uncertain future. Amy's perspective serves as a reminder that behind every public story are real people doing their best to heal, grow, and move forward with hope.